The Olympic Games have always been a symbol of human excellence, a stage where nations unite and athletes chase immortality. But beneath the glory and spectacle lies another story, quieter and rarely told. It's the story of those who gave everything for the Games and never returned home. This documentary is presented for educational and historical purposes, honoring the memory of all individuals mentioned. 1. Nodar Kumaritashvili, The Final Descent, Vancouver, 2010. In February 2010, just hours before the opening ceremony of the Winter Olympics in Vancouver, a 21-year-old athlete from Georgia, Nodar Kumaritashvili, prepared for what was meant to be the greatest moment of his life. Born in the small mountain town of Bakuriani, Nodar came from a family deeply rooted in the sport of luge. His grandfather had helped introduce it to Georgia. For Nodar, this wasn't just competition, it was heritage. During a training run at the Whistler Sliding Center, one of the fastest tracks ever built, Nodar's sled reached speeds approaching 90 miles per hour. On a sharp curve near the finish, he lost control. His sled struck the edge of the track, and he was thrown into a metal support. Despite immediate emergency response, Nodar did not survive. The world was shaken. His teammates marched in the opening ceremony wearing black armbands. The Georgian flag flew with a black ribbon. Within days, officials began modifying the track, raising the walls, adjusting the ice surface, and limiting sled speeds. The incident prompted international reforms in sliding sports. Speed limits, safety padding, and track approval protocols were tightened. What began as an unimaginable tragedy became a turning point, one that redefined how Olympic venues are built and tested. Nodar Kumaritashvili's story endures not as a cautionary tale of failure, but as a solemn reminder of courage and the price sometimes paid in pursuit of perfection. 2. The builders of Rio 11, Lives for a Dream. Rio 2016, when the 2016 Summer Olympics were awarded to Rio de Janeiro, the world celebrated the first Games ever doubles. Hosted in South America. But behind the fireworks and fanfare, another story was unfolding, one of pressure, speed, and sacrifice. Between 2013 and 2016, as Brazil raced to complete its Olympic venues, at least 11 construction workers lost their lives while building the infrastructure that would dazzle the world. Among them were men like Abraão de Almeida, who suffered an electrical accident while installing subway lines for the new metro extension, and Gerson de Souza, who was crushed in a crane incident on site. Others fell from scaffolding or suffered severe heat exhaustion while working marathon shifts. Many of these workers were migrants from poorer regions of Brazil, drawn by the promise of wages and pride in helping build the Olympic dream. But investigations later revealed that safety protocols were often overlooked in the rush to meet impossible deadlines. Labor inspectors described conditions of exhaustion and minimal protective equipment. Deadlines ahead of lives. One union official called it words that captured the imbalance between ambition and human cost. After the Games, Brazil's Ministry of Labor conducted reviews that led to stronger enforcement policies and stricter oversight of large-scale projects. Yet, for the families who lost fathers, brothers, and sons, those changes came too late. The stadiums still stand, but so do the memories of the men who built them. 3. Heat on the horizon. Tokyo's unseen casualty. Tokyo 2020. The next chapter in this hidden history came from Tokyo. As the city prepared for the 2020 Games, the world watched with admiration at Japan's precision and order. But one quiet incident revealed how even the most advanced nations are not immune to the dangers of human limits. In August 2019, a 50-year-old construction worker collapsed while installing cables near the Tokyo Big Sight Convention Center, soon to become the Olympic media hub. It was one of the hottest summers in Japan's modern history. Temperatures hovered near 35 degrees C, and humidity made outdoor labor almost unbearable. Despite efforts to revive him, he passed away at a nearby hospital. Officials later cited the cause as heat exhaustion. The tragedy sparked debate across Japan about how to hold a Summer Olympics in an era of global warming. Experts warned that rising temperatures could make outdoor events and the work that supports them dangerously unsafe. The Tokyo Organizing Committee introduced additional shade stations, medical teams, and rest breaks for both workers and athletes. The worker's name was not widely publicized, but his passing became symbolic. His story helped shift global attention toward climate adaptation, not just for the games, but for human work itself. 4. Amara Diomasi Paris, 2024, and the Weight of Progress in 2023. Preparations for the Paris 2024 Olympics were in full motion. France aimed to set a new standard for sustainable, human-centered games. But the dream was marred by a tragedy that reminded everyone how fragile even the best-laid plans can be. At a construction site near the Austerlitz Basin on the River Seine, part of the massive water cleaning project tied to the game's 51-year-old site supervisor Amara Diomasi lost his life in a workplace incident. The news sent shockwaves through France's labor unions. They demanded transparency, justice, and stricter safety regulations. For many, Amara became a symbol of the invisible workforce behind the Olympic spectacle, those who build, clean, and prepare the arenas of history, yet rarely appear in the record books. Investigations followed, and the French government promised reforms to prevent future tragedies. But his story remains a quiet warning that even in modern Europe, progress often carries a human toll, hidden beneath the glitter of celebration. 5. Fran Crippen. A swimmer's last race. Not every Olympic tragedy happens during the Games themselves. Some occur on the road that leads there. In 2010, American open water swimmer Fran Crippen was competing in a FINA 10-kilometer race in Fujairah, United Arab Emirates. The event was part of the same global system that feeds into Olympic competition. The day was brutally hot. Water temperatures exceeded 30 degrees C, and several swimmers later reported feeling faint during the race. Crippen, just 26 years old and known for his endurance, began to struggle near the end. When he failed to finish, rescue teams searched the water. Hours later, he was found unresponsive. His loss sent shockwaves through the international swimming community. Within months, FINA, the governing body for aquatic sports, introduced new regulations for open water safety, including mandatory temperature limits, greater medical supervision, and rescue craft positioned along the course. Fran Crippen's legacy has lived on through these reforms, making the sport safer for generations to come. He is remembered not for how his race ended, but for how his story changed the system itself. A shared theme. When the pursuit of glory turns fatal, though these incidents differ in time and place, they all speak to one truth. The Olympic dream, in all its brilliance, is built by human hands and sometimes paid for with human lives. Nonar's crash led to new safety standards for track design. The workers of Rio forced a global conversation about labor rights and project oversight. The tragedy in Tokyo underscored the reality of a warming world. Amara's passing in Paris reignited the call for worker protections. And Fran Crippen's story changed the future of swimming safety forever. Every one of these individuals deserves to be remembered not as footnotes, but as the silent contributors who shaped the safer, more conscientious games that followed. Closing reflection. The Olympic flame is meant to symbolize the best of humanity, courage, unity, and perseverance. But it should also remind us of responsibility, to protect every life that makes those ideals possible. Behind every medal ceremony and world record, there are engineers, builders, coaches, and competitors whose unseen effort carries real risk. Honoring them means ensuring that the pursuit of glory never again comes at the expense of safety or dignity. As we watch future games unfold, may we remember not just the triumphs, but the sacrifices, and let their stories light a different kind of flame, one of respect, vigilance, and humanity. If you'd like to see more stories like this, make sure to subscribe, and feel free to leave your suggestions for the next video in the comments.